Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning all. Let me introduce myself to all of you. My name is Sabrina Felia. My student number is B1024191029. I am from Department of Management International class of Faculty Economic and Business Universitas Tanjung Pura. This semester I take Human Resource Management and my lecturer is Mr. Adi Mursalin. In this good occasion, I would like to answer the question for Human Resource Management midterm test. Well, my dear audiences, watch me and listen to me carefully. First of all, in this first section, I would like to answer the question on part A. The first question is, how many times do you attend the Zoom meeting class of Human Resource Management and why? I have attended the Zoom meeting class of Human Resource Management for 7 times since Tuesday 9th of February for the first class until Tuesday 23rd March for the 7 classes. And I attend this class because Human Resource Management is one of the mandatory classes that I must take in this semester, and the other reason is because I want to know more about Human Resource Management. The second question is, did you ever miss the Zoom meeting class of Human Resource Management? How many times did you miss the Zoom meeting class and why? I never missed the Zoom meeting class of Human Resource Management. I always attend every single class for Human Resource Management. The third question, what is the title of the Human Resource Management book used in learning Human Resource Management, and what does the book tell you? Well, the title of the Human Resource Management book used in learning Human Resource Management is A Handbook of Human Resource Management Practice. The book tells me about major developments in human resources practice in the last 2 to 3 years, such as the development of the theory and practice of human capital management, talent management, and approaches to learning and development, all covered in new or substantially revised chapters. The fourth question, how many chapters has the book? Mention the titles of the chapter you have studied and what does each chapter tell you. What have you got from studying the chapters in this book? There are 59 chapters that the book has, but in this semester we only learn for about 14 chapters of them. They are chapter 1 about human capital management, chapter 1 about human resource management, chapter 2 about human capital management, chapter 3 about role of the human resource function, chapter 4 about the role of human resource practitioner, chapter 5 about role of the frontline manager, chapter 6 about international human resource management, chapter 7 about strategic human resource management, chapter 8 about human resource strategies, chapter 9 about developing and implementing human resource strategies, chapter 10 about human resource management policies, chapter 11 about competency-based human resource management, chapter 12 about knowledge management, chapter 13 about analyzing roles, competencies, and skill, and the last one, chapter 14, is about the nature of work. What I've got from studying all of those chapters, all of those 14 chapters in this book are, I get to know more about human resource management, about what is human resource management, how human resource management works in a company, how human resource management works to accompany the employees in a company, how human resource management helps a company to solve their problems with their employees, and etc. The fifth question, are you active in your study of human resource management at Zoom meeting class? Mention the proof that you are active during your study of human resource management. Yes, I am. The proof is I asked a question for group 3 that presented about human resource policies. I also answer questions about Chapter 5, Chapter 10, and Chapter 6 that presented by Group 9, Group 3, and Group 12. The sixth question, how many groups have done the presentation? What can you learn and get from their presentation? What can you learn from your own presentation? Well, there are 12 groups that have done the presentation. I learned a lot about human resource management from those 12 groups, such as the introduction of human resource management, also what are the role of human resource in a company. I also learned about international human resource management, how to developing human resource strategy, how to arrange strategic human resource management, and etc. And from my own presentation, I am from group 14 and my group is presented about human capital management. From my own presentation about human capital management, I learned about how human resource help company to add more value to their employees and how human resource helps the employees to find their ability to work in a company. The last question, the seventh question, is are you interested in taking human resource management? Why or why not? For now, I am not interested in taking human resource management for my concentration. Why? To be frankly honest, because for me, human resource management is quite boring. It is interesting to learn, but seeing a lot of theories in there made me not so interested in taking human resource management as my concentration. But I will still learn human resource management diligently. Well, I have answered all the question on part A, and now I want to answer the question on part B. And now I would like to answer the question in part B. The first question is mention and explain the definition of human resource management to the 5 experts and how do you define HRM. The first definition is from Piggers and Myers. They define human resource management it is basically a method of developing potentialities of employees so that they feel maximum satisfaction of their work and give their efforts to the organization. By Byers and Rue, human resource management encompasses those activities designed to provide for and coordinate the human resource of an organization. Human resource functions refer to those tasks and duties performed in organizations to provide for and coordinate human resources. From Ivan Sevih and Gluck, human resource management is the function performed in organizations that facilitate the most effective use of people or employees to achieve organizational and individual goals. According to DeCenzo and Robbins, human resource management is concerned with the people dimension in management. From Story 1989 believes that human resource management can be regarded as a set of interrelated policies with an ideological and philosophical underpinning. And for me, human resource management is the strategic approach to the effective management of people in a company or organization such that they help their business gain a competitive advantage. The second question is explain the future role of human resource function. The first function is facilitator, facilitating the employee or employer connection principally through empowering technologies, both digital and procedural, that emphasize employee self-service and managerial independence. Human resource tasks here may best be conceived as a help desk function, set up the systems, teach others to use them, and then get out of the way, answering questions from the field only as these arise. The second function is designer, designing and helping implementing high-performance people strategies in partnership with line staff. The scope of such effort could be quite narrow at the team level or system-wide. As in number one, the focus is on developing employee and manager self-reliance through the skillful sharing of expertise by human resource. The focus, though, is on applying the expertise in ways that are explicitly tied to priorities of line staffs. The third function is educator, serving as a catalyst for learning and communication. As an educator, a human resource has three jobs. The first one is introduce fresh thinking within the enterprise. The second one is persist in developing mastery of adapted organizational practices and process improvement methodologies by employees and managers. And the third one, the last one, is communicate extensively what's happening within the organizational and why, especially as this relate to the seven high performance people strategies identified. The third question, why must the company have human resource policy? Well, the human resource department of any company is the people who have been hired as employees of a company to select, recruit, assess new candidates, as well as create the procedure of human resource policies of company. It is said that the human resource department and its policies and procedures are the real backbone and foundations of a company. To run any organization successfully, it is important for the organization to define clear human resource policies and procedures which are in line with the country's labor war. A policy is a guiding principle used to set direction in an organization. It should be used as a guide to it should be used as a guide to decision making under a given set of circumstances within the framework of objectives, goals, and management philosophies as determined by senior management. Human resource policies and procedures are important as they provide structure, control, consistency, fairness, and reasonableness. They also ensure compliance with employment legislation and inform employees of their responsibilities and the company's expectations. Policies and procedures are written by the Human Resource Department for various reasons. Fourth question, explain the concept of strategy according to Johnson and Souls, 1993. Johnson and Souls define strategy as the direction and scope of an organization over the long term, which achieves advantages for the organization through its configuration as resources within a challenging environment to meet the needs of markets and to fulfill stakeholders' expectations. In other words, strategy is about where is the business trying to get to in the long-term strategic direction, which market should a business compete in, and what kind of activities are involved in such markets, how the business perform better than its competition in those markets, also what resources, skill, assets, finance, relationships, technical competencies, facilities are required in order to be able to compete, what external environmental factors affects the business's ability to compete, and the last one is what are the values and expectations of the stakeholders who have interest in and power over the business. The fifth question is what is the aim of strategic human resource management? The fundamental aim of strategic human resource management is to generate a perspective on the way in which critical issues relating to people can be addressed it enables strategic decisions to be made that have a major and long-term impact on behavior and success of organization by ensuring that the organization has the skilled, committed, and well-motivated employees it needs to achieve sustained competitive advantage. Like strategies, human resource management should attempt to achieve a proper balance between the hard and soft elements. All organizations exist to achieve a purpose, and they must ensure that they have the resources required to do so and that they use them effectively. But they should also take into account the human considerations contained in the concept of soft strategic human resource management. In the words of Quinn Mills, 1983, they should plan with people in mind, taking into account the needs and aspirations of all members of the organization. The problem is that hard consideration is in many business will come first, leaving soft ones and way behind. The sixth question is mention and explain the type of human resource strategies. Um, Basic types of human resource strategies can be identified as one, overarching strategies, and the second one is specific strategies relating to different aspects of human resource management. Now we explain the first one. What is overarching strategies? Overarching strategies describe the general intentions of the organization about how people should be managed and developed. What steps should be taken to ensure that human resource management processes the organization can attract and retain the people it needs and ensure so far as possible that employees are committed, motivated, and engaged. They are likely to be expressed as broad brush statements of aims and purpose that set the scene for more specific strategies. They are concerned with overall organization effectiveness, achieving human resource advantage by, as Boxall and Purcell 2003 explain, employing better people in organizations with better process, developing high performance work systems, and generally creating a great place to work. The second one is specific human resource strategies set out what the organization intends to do in areas such as, first, talent management, how the organization intends to win the war for talent. The second one is continuous improvement, providing for focus and continuous incremental of innovation sustained over a period of time. The third one is knowledge management, creating, acquiring, capturing, sharing, and using knowledge to enhance learning and performance. The fourth one is resourcing, attracting and retaining high quality people. Five one is learning and developing, providing an environment in which employees are encouraged to learn and develop. Six is reward, defining what the organization wants to do in the longer term to develop and implement reward policies, practices, and processes that will further the achievement of its business goals and meet the needs of its stakeholders. And the last one is employee relations, defining the intentions of the organizations about what needs to be done and what needs to be changed in the ways in which the organization manages its relationships with employees and their trade unions. The seventh question, what is competency? Explain what competency framework, how important the competency framework at workplace. What is competency? For me, competency is a set of demonstrable characteristics and skills that enable and improve the efficiency of the performance of a job. But for competency framework itself, it defines the knowledge, skills, and attributes needed for people within an organization. Each individual role will have its own set of competencies needed to perform the job effectively. To develop this framework, you need to have an in-depth understanding of the roles within your business. Creating creating a competency framework is an effective method to assess, maintain, and monitor the knowledge, skill, and attributes of people in your organization. The framework also allows you to measure current competencies levels to make sure your staff member have the expertise needed to add value to the business. It also helps managers make informed decisions about talent recruitment, retention, and succession strategies. And by identifying the specific behaviors and skills needed for each role, it enables you to budget and plan for the training and development your company really needs. The eighth question: how many steps are there to develop a competency framework? Mention and explain the steps for developing a competency framework. There are four steps to develop a competency framework. The first one is prepare. In this step, you need to define the purpose before you start analyzing jobs and figuring out what each role needs for success. Make sure you look at the purpose for creating the framework. How you plan to use it will impact whom you involve in preparing it and how you determine its scope. And you need to create a competency framework team. Include people from all areas of all your business that will use the framework. Where possible, aim to represent the diversity of your organization. It's also important to think about long-term needs so that you can keep the framework updated and relevant. The second step is collect information. This is the main part of the framework. Generally, the better the data you collect, the more accurate your framework will be. But for this reason, it's a good idea to consider which techniques you'll use to collect information about the roles and the work involved in each one. Step 3 is build the framework. This stage involves grouping of all the behaviors and skill sets into competencies. And the last one, the step 4, is implement. As you roll out the Vinyl's competency framework, remember the principle of communication that we mentioned earlier. To help get buy-in from members of staffs at all levels of the organization, it's important to explain to them why the framework was developed and how you'd like to be used. Discuss how it will be updated and which procedures you've put in place to accommodate change. Okay, question number 9. Explain the concept of knowledge to Beckler 1995. What is knowledge management? Based on Beckler 1995, he mentioned that in this aspect, knowledge brings power to organizations. Creating a new knowledge is vital for the firms and their productivity. Ingrained and encultured types of knowledge are of great importance. By using knowledge mapping, we can see where the processes of knowledge occur. For example, whether they are embedded, embodied, and retained, and etc. Knowledge management is the conscious process of defining, structuring, retaining, and sharing the knowledge and experience of employees within an organization. The main goal of knowledge management is to improve an organization's efficiency and save knowledge within the company. Often it is referring to training and learning in an organization or of its customers. It consists of a cycle of creating, sharing, structuring, and auditing knowledge in order to maximize the effectiveness of an organization's collective knowledge. The last question number 10, mention and explain the types of knowledge and mention and explain the purpose and significance of knowledge management. The first type is explicit knowledge. This type of knowledge is formalized and codified and is sometimes referred to as Know What, Brough and Digit 1998. It is therefore fairly easy to identify, store, and retrieve from Wellman 2009. This is the type of knowledge most easily handled by knowledge management system, which are very effective at facilitating the storage, retrieval, and modification of documents and texts. From a managerial perspective, the greatest challenge with explicit knowledge is similar to information. It involves ensuring that people have access to what they need, that important knowledge is stored, and that the knowledge is reviewed, updated, or discharged. The second one is tacit knowledge. This type of knowledge was originally defined by Polanyi in 1966. It is sometimes referred to as know-how and refers to intuitive, hard to define knowledge that is largely experience-based. Because of this, tacit knowledge is often context-dependent and personal in nature. It is hard to communicate and deeply rooted in action, commitment, and involvement. It is mentioned by Nonaka in 1994. Tacit knowledge is also regarded as being the most valuable source of knowledge and the most likely to lead to breakthrough in the organization. It is mentioned by Wellman in 2009. Gamble and Blackwell in 2001 mentioned the lack of focus on tacit knowledge directly to the reduced capability for innovation and sustained competitiveness. The purpose of this knowledge management process is to share perspective, ideas, experience, and information to ensure that these are available in the right place at the right time to enable informed decisions and to improve efficiency by reducing the need to rediscover knowledge. Alright, I already answered the question in part B. Now I would like to answer the question in part C. And now I would like to answer the question on section C based on the video. Question number 1. Have you watched the video completely? Yes, I watched the video completely. Second question. What is the video about? The video tells about the difference between two managers whose attitudes are inversely proportional to their employees. One is from a Louvain company whose manager has communication skills, so that the relationship with the employees is good, in contrast to the other manager from a lunar company which has a strict manager so that the employees feel bad at work. Question number 3 is, how do you find the managers in the video? It can be seen from his job because the manager is the one who manages and leads his employees. Question number 4, what lesson can you get from watching the video 1 above? For me, we as a manager must have communication skills. We must not be arbitrary with our employees, because if we do that, we will not have a good relationship with employees. We cannot force employees to do everything. We must pay attention to employees. We must hear the reason if they arrive late. Don't just cut their wages like that, and that way employees will be happy while doing their job. Apart from that, what is certain is that we also have to be disciplined and responsible. There are times when we are exhausted, but do not get carried away so that it can make our work delayed. And the most important thing is that employees are human, not robots. Fifth question, if you were the manager in a company, what would you do to make your people happy? For me, if I am the manager in a company, I will treat them or invite them to eat together, and I won't put too much pressure on them at work so they will feel comfortable later. I will also raise their wages, raise their salaries, or give them bonus as reward to them who do their job quickly and well, and will always hear complaints or ask their opinion on how I should behave so that they can be comfortable while working. And for video 2, question number 1 is, what is the video 2 about? This second video contains two managers, namely a good manager and a bad manager. A bad manager, that is Susianti. She did corruption in the company, and she also often gave deadlines that overwhelm employees. And a good manager, that named Stella, who helps to handle the company very well. The second question, what is the problem faced by the company in the second video? This second video, there is two salesperson asked to Stella about the manager not paid their salaries as their hard work, and Stella immediately checked the company data and found something wrong, and she repeated to her CEO, and that is where the other managers are caught cheating or corrupt. And a few months later, Stella handled the company well, and the employees under Stella's management were happy and they were paid fairly. The third question, how do you find a manager in this company? How can I find this manager in this company is, I can find the manager by listening to the story carefully and watching the video till the end. The last question, what can you learn from watching this video? From watching this video, I can learn about that good and bad management system will affect the work environment and employees. Therefore, it is important to be a manager who is responsible, honest, and able to guide his employees well. And for the third video, the first question, have you watched the video completely? Yes, I watched the video completely. Second question, what is the video about? In this third video, this video tells about a company that is experiencing a decline in market share and sales number. According to the market manager, this is due to a new competitor, so that the company's loyal customers moved to a new company. The boss of the company was angry and told the managers to fix the problem. The boss of this company also does not treat their employees that well. The employees do not get the appropriate salary, so one of the managers, namely the operation manager, resigned because when he asked for a salary increase, the boss didn't accept it. The longer the company has experienced a drastic decline, which is due to operation managers who leak products to competitors. Third question, mention the people in the meeting room. What are their occupations? In the meeting room, there are boss, secretary, marketing manager, operation manager, financial manager, and human resource manager. To their occupations, operation manager report that their sales have decreased due to new competitors. Operation managers report good production of goods, and financial managers report that the company's market share and sales number are decreasing. Fourth question, how do you find the manager in this company? In this video, I find the manager in this company by seeing from his job, because the manager is the one who manages and leads his employees. And fifth question, what do the people in the company do after they are scolded by the managers? Managers discuss what they should do to fix this problem. They also talk about the salary that is given is not in accordance with their job, even though they are doing their job. What lesson can you get from watching the video above? We as leaders must not treat our managers and employees unfairly. If we want our company to run well, then we should treat our employees well too. We should work together in order to achieve good sales. Don't just ask employees. We as leaders also have to take part. So, in conclusion, human resource management not only responsible for human resource planning and decision making, through recruitment, training, and development, human resource management selects best employees for organization, which play its role to achieve strategic goals. Through human resource management, performance appraisal, which makes an organization more efficient. That is all from me. Thank you for watching this video. See you in another occasion. Bye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.